I want to walk you through an actual case study. We created a proposal for a real fashion company. A number of clearly stated problems have to be solved by AI. For this case study, we will be looking at how to leverage AI for a leading fashion company. For confidentiality, we have given them the pseudonym Silver Star Denim. This is Silver Star Denim. They are a major player in the denim industry, but like many established companies, they are facing new challenges that require them to look beyond the traditional ways of doing business. To set the stage, they operate in the massive $87 billion global denim industry. In this market, three things are gold: speed to market, scale of operations, ability to be a price maker, that is, setting the trends, not just following them and competing on price. Their sales team, the lifeblood of the company, needs more power. They need better tools. Why? To connect with buyers, respond to requests, close deals faster. To grow, the company needs insights. The leadership team is flying partially blind, relying on lagging indicators and gut feelings. They need real-time, predictive insights to make strategic decisions. In the world of fashion, the market leader must drive taste. They need to be the trendsetter. But how can you set the trend if you are reacting to last season's data? And this is the core problem. Despite being a major company, so many of the critical processes are still manual. Data is siloed in emails, spreadsheets, and even physical sample books. Everything is slow, disconnected, and inefficient. Our proposal was not just to help them play their current game a little bit better. It was to change the field so they could win the game. This means fundamentally altering their business operating system. The vision for the end user is simple, but it is revolutionary for the business. We proposed a Silver Star Denim buyer portal with a natural language search. A buyer from a major brand can now just type, "I need a 12-ounce, dark wash, slim fit denim for next fall," and instantly get results. They can search, request a sample, and place a bulk order instantly. We proposed a core AI strategy. This was to build real-time automation and intelligence directly into the DNA of the company. This is designed to touch every part of the process, from the design room to the sales call. To do this, we proposed building their full AI stack. This is not one single piece of software, but a connected system. It includes natural language for the search, an enterprise language model trained on their specific fabrics and data, machine learning for recommendations, and sentiment analysis to understand market trends. Let us break that stack down. At the top, the end-user engagement channel. That is, the buyer portal. This is powered by natural language processing to understand what buyers are asking for. This feeds a recommendation engine that intelligently suggests other products. All of this is powered by machine learning and statistical analytics. And critically, we included a generative AI sandbox for the design team to prototype new ideas and trends. Today, their process is linear and manual. A buyer calls, a salesperson manually searches a database. It is sequential, slow, and provides zero bandwidth for analytics. They are a trend taker. Tomorrow, with the new AI stack, buyers get instant results. The system provides real-time insights to every department. We can have AI agents handling initial conversations. This allows for unlimited, automated sales engagement and gives them the data to set the trends, not just follow them. So, let us test drive this idea. What does this actually look like for a user and for the business? First, let's try out natural language search. The buyer logs into the portal. They are presented with a simple search bar, and they can type in an unstructured query. It is immediately followed by the recommendation engine, which says words to the effect, "Buyers who liked this fabric also bought these 3. Or here is a new, more sustainable option. There are many ways in which this can be communicated. We are looking at the Silver Star Denim buyer portal. But it is not a cluttered, confusing website. It is a clean page, and right in the middle is a single, simple search bar, just like Google. First, let us remember the today process from earlier. A buyer from, say, Levi's, has to email or call their sales representative. They would say, "Hey, I am working on the fall 2026 line. I need to see all your heavyweight, non-stretch fabrics with a vintage or worn-in wash, suitable for men's jackets." That sales representative then starts a sequential, linear manual hunt. They check the search database, then the physical records. Maybe they will call a product manager. This takes days. Now, watch the demo. There are 3 different options typed in here. The buyer is looking for choice. What is happening in the background? This is natural language processing, or NLP. The AI is not just matching keywords. It is parsing the intent of that sentence. It tags some words as fabric properties. It tags others as finishes. It understands others as the end-use application. It then translates this human language into a complex, multivariable database query in milliseconds. This is far beyond a simple website search. This is the same technology used in highly complex, data-heavy industries. For example, in the legal field. This is e-discovery. Lawyers do not search for one keyword. They use natural language to search millions of documents for concepts, like find all emails from Q2 between these 3 people who may be involved in such and such case. In business intelligence, tools like Tableau and Power BI are integrating this. A CEO can type "compare sales in the Northeast region for Q3 against last year" and get an instant chart, rather than asking an analyst to build a report. The presenter hits enter. Instantly, the screen populates with only the choices to match this highly complex query. The long timelines are gone. This is moving the buyer from hours of frustration to seconds of satisfaction. We now describe how Silverstar Denim uses a recommendation engine. Here we use a concept called client scenario. What is a client scenario? It is an end-consumer-centric multivariate descriptor. These scenarios include high-volume workwear, Japanese-inspired raw selvage, high-performance technical stretch, greatest hits and next season's forecasts. By using this functionality, the sales executives at Silverstar are able to encourage their clients to consider looking at denim not just as a commodity but product to fit themes. What are these themes coming from? Both material descriptors, which are there in the factory database, as well as end consumer motivations. These have been spun together into actionable buttons, so to speak. The business value for Silverstar. This is the why of the entire system. That search from the buyer was not just a transaction, it was an intelligence data point. Sales gets a red-hot, qualified lead with all the context. Marketing gets real-time, unbiased proof of which products are trending. They can build their next email campaign around vintage washes. Leadership, CEO gets a real-time forecast. They are no longer a trend taker. They can see the demand as it forms. They can call the mill and say we need to ramp up production of 734 vintage. The data is clear. This is how they move from being reactive to being predictive. This is how they set the trends. The real power is not just the faster search. It is the more insights this system generates. What do we learn from thousands of these buyer searches? This is a multivariate segmentation map of who is buying and what they are buying. While we have not shown this here in detail, the machine learning platform is at work in the back. And it will continue to work to provide other insights as well. We get a real-time, dynamic dashboard of our top buyers. We can see who is browsing, who is ordering, and what they are searching for right now. We see the variables which are company name, key decision maker, country, primary fabric focus and key characteristics. This is buyer segmentation by interpersonal and cultural characteristics. This is specific to Japanese buyers who constitute an important geographic market. As you might surmise, we are really exploring old-fashioned segmentation and drilling deep into it. Our natural language processor gives us a wealth of data while our machine learning platform generates the insights we are looking for. Unlike older analytical methodologies, these work at very high speeds. This continues from what we discussed about Japanese buyers. Now we are looking at Italian buyers. So, with these insights, what can the mill do? This is the first step to an effective and efficient trade marketing program. The segments are described. The key characteristics of the buying centers are known. So how will you approach them? What will be your written and visual cues? What is the messaging and what are the media? Is a warm body attempt appropriate? How does price figure in their overall decision matrix? So, there is a next step and that is not shown here. That is, to encode the strategy, automate it and link it back to the insights generation process. This is the Holy Grail. By aggregating all the search data, all the sample requests, and all the buyer conversations, the AI can generate accurate forecasts for next season. This is moving from being reactive to being predictive. This is where a mix of data from queries and orders, sentiment analysis and follow-through discussions during negotiations get integrated with structured and unstructured marketing intelligence. This results in a generation of trends, detailed description of the trends and matching to the relevant buyer segments of the mill. We use generative AI to visualize what the cuts will appear like on models. This is a big breakthrough as personalization of product and segmentation fit to product positioning are challenges. The iterative processes for these have been historically time-consuming and expensive. We use GenAI to make this both efficient and cost-effective. Here we lay out the forecast for next season in terms of dominant looks, in other words washes and finishes. When we look at marketing intelligence and unstructured inputs beyond customer engagement, inferences begin to arise. For example, we may find leading indicators of looks arising from a different fashion sector. Let us say that sector was T-shirts. Or there is a specific look to K-drama characters for next year that are being teased through social media showreels. We can build an inference pipeline in addition to the derived predictions from our conversations and our sector. This adds enormous value and richness to what we deliver to the client. Once again, models are used to personalize the forecasted look for next season. And it is done by using GenAI. For Silverstar, it becomes an important tool to determine where to prioritize sales pitches and then production. For clients, it becomes a lead to follow for the next season. Silverstar becomes a trend maker and not a trend follower. The third leg of the next season forecast has to do with material. So we have covered cuts, washes and finishes and material. This insight helps Silverstar plan ahead on the product side and sets a sense of anticipation for clients. The system can scan blogs, social media, and trade publications to see what influencers and customers are saying about our brand and our competitors' products. This dashboard pulls it all together. So, to summarize the value, your buyers can search whenever they want, from anywhere in the world, and your AI-powered system can sell to them, round the clock, with no limits on your sales capacity. Your marketing team is no longer guessing or running generic campaigns. The recommendation engine will take their efforts to a new level, with automated, personalized upselling and cross-selling for every single buyer. This is the key. When your buyers are using your system to search and discover, you are no longer just a supplier, you become the tastemaker. You are guiding their choices, showing them what comes next, and it is all running 24/7, fully automated. On the back end, you automate demand fulfillment. The system can automatically route confirmed orders, check inventory, and initiate production schedules, removing manual data entry and errors. This leads to vastly improved inventory management. No more over-ordering the wrong fabric or being understocked on a hot seller. You have predictive data to guide your purchasing and manufacturing. And finally, for your designers, you have rapid segment personalization and the idea sandbox. They can use generative AI to create new washes and see how the system predicts they will sell with certain buyer segments, all before a single yard of denim is ever produced. The future we have discussed is built on data, but it is driven by imagination. Let us profit from that imagination, together.